How's it going, people? Welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be doing a spec comparison between the Samsung Galaxy A54 and the new Google Pixel 7a. Both of these devices are about the same price, $499 and below, and we're going to be talking about the specs, a little bit of pictures and video side by side to see which one you might want to pick up. Before we do, consider subscribing and clicking that bell icon, that way you get notified on future videos just like the one you're about to watch today. So let's get started. Samsung Galaxy A54 versus the Google Pixel 7a. Let's go. Alright, so when it comes down to the Galaxy A54 and the Google Pixel 7a, let's go ahead and go on over the dimensions and the build. So the Pixel 7a is about 5.98 inches tall from top to bottom, 2.87 inches wide, and 0.35 inches thin. A very nice and compact device. It is IP67 dust and water resistance. You do get Gorilla Glass 3 on the front. You get an aluminum frame going around the edges, so it feels nice and premium, but the back is completely constructed out of plastic. The visor and the back is a glossy glass stick. And going on over to the actual Galaxy A54, they switch things up a little bit. It is 6.23 inches tall from top to bottom, 3.2 inches wide, and 0.32 inches thin. And you do get a glass back, which is covered in Corning Gorilla Glass 5, but you do get a plastic frame, so it's completely the opposite. IP67 dust and water resistance, just like the Google Pixel 7a. It is covered in Corning Gorilla Glass 5 on the front and on the back, so very nicely built phones. A little bit, I definitely prefer the glass back over here on the Galaxy A54, but then I prefer the metal frame on the Pixel. I wish it would have had a glass back, but it is what it is. Going on over the actual design of the smartphones, you do get your power button over here on the right hand side along with your volume. And then going on over to the top, you get your microphone, micro SD card, and SIM tray up here at the top. Nothing on the left hand side. Bottom, you get a couple microphones, USB Type-C, and one of your speakers. Going over to the back, you get your camera layout, flash, and some Samsung logo. Google Pixel 7, right hand side, you get your volume at the bottom, power at the top, which is a little weird, some antenna lines. Going over to the top, again, microphone right there. Going on over to the left hand side, you get your SIM tray, no micro SD card support on the Google Pixel 7a. Bottom, you get one of your Fire and speakers and your USB Type-C charging. Going over to the back, you get your camera visor with your two cameras, flash, and your Google logo right there in the middle. Now when it comes down to the actual displays on both of these guys, the Google Pixel 7a comes with a 6.1 inch display. It is an OLED, supports HDR, and it is at 90 Hertz. It is 1080 by 2400 and it has 429 pixels per inch, about 81.8% screen to body ratio. You do get some sizable bezels on here as well. For the Pixel 7a, you get a hole punch cutout up top for your camera, and it does come with an in-display optical fingerprint sensor, which is in a very nice spot right there, not too low on a device, and it's actually quite fast and reliable on there. You also get facial recognition. Going on over to the Galaxy A54, 6.4 inches, Super AMOLED, 120 Hertz, supports HDR10 Plus, and it is 1080 by 2340. 403 pixels per inch, about 82.9% screen to body ratio. Again, the bezel is pretty similar on both of these guys with the sizable chin at the bottom. I might have to give it to the Pixel just because it looks better as far as design goes, but the bezels are pretty much the same. Galaxy a little bit more wider than the actual Pixel. When it comes down to displays, both of them are going to be flat displays. And the fingerprint sensor on the Galaxy is also optical, a bit lower on the device. I wish it was just a little bit higher. And I think the fingerprint sensor on the Pixel is a little bit better than the Galaxy. They both have facial recognition when it comes down to unlocking your device. So that is pretty good news when it comes down to that. I think the fingerprint sensor is better on the Pixel 7a. So both of these devices are running Android 13. Fantastic. The Galaxy A54 is One UI 5.1, Android 13. As far as the internals, you get the Exynos 1380 processor, which is a mid-range processor. You get the Mali G68 MP5 GPU on here. And this device is 6 gigabytes of RAM, 128 storage with micro SD card expansion up here at top. So that is fantastic. And one thing that the Galaxy has going for it is that micro SD card. So you can expand your storage just a little bit more if you need that extra storage. It also comes in an 8 gigabyte model too if you were to purchase it from Samsung. Both of these are T-Mobile variants, so keep that in mind. The Pixel comes with Android 13 as well with the Google Tensor chipset generation 2, and you get the GPU, which is a Mali G710 MP7 GPU, so a little bit higher specs over here on the Pixel and a little bit more processing power. You get 8 gigabytes of RAM, 128 storage, no micro SD card support whatsoever on the Google Pixel. And as far as performance goes, I'm gonna have to give that to the Pixel. It's just a lot smoother than the A54, even though it only has a 90 Hz refresh rate, while the A54 has a 120 Hz refresh rate. The Pixel definitely feels a lot smoother in my opinion. So as far as everything else goes, let's go ahead and go on over to the cameras on both of these guys. So the Galaxy A54 is a 3-camera setup, but technically you're only just using 2 of them. 50 megapixel main sensor, 12 megapixel ultra wide, and a 5 megapixel macro sensor over here. You can record only all the way up to 4K 30 frames per second on the Galaxy A54. Front facing camera is going to be a 32 megapixel camera front and center, and you can record again up to 4K 30 frames per second. No 4K 60 on the Galaxy A54. Going on over to the Pixel, it is also technically a dual camera setup. 64 megapixel main sensor, 13 megapixel ultra wide. You can record all the way up to 4K 60 on the Pixel 7a. Front facing camera, 13 megapixel, hole punch cutout straight in the middle. And you can record all the way up to 4K 30 frames per second over here. So that is fantastic. And of course, I'm gonna tell you guys, the pictures on the Pixel come out a lot better than the Galaxy A54. You might be seeing some flash on your screen. The Pixel, we all know Pixels take really good shots and really good video. Stabilization on the Pixel is way better than the Galaxy A54. There is no stabilization on the A54. It's just very choppy, very jumpy when you're doing video, while the Pixel is very smooth and takes a lot better shots. They just look a lot better and a lot nicer. Video is actually really good on the A50. Video is actually very good on the Pixel 7a. So definitely this one wins when it comes down to cameras. Both of these devices do have stereo speakers. As we all know, Galaxy does have the Dolby Atmos with all the different settings and equalizers over here. And you get your top speaker, which is in your headset, and then the bottom firing speaker over here. And let's go ahead and hear a sample of both of these devices side by side, that we can tell the difference on which one sounds better. All right, so which one sounded better to you? I think they personally, both of them sound really good. Maybe the Pixel a little bit better, but yeah, comment down below on which one you like the best when it comes down to speakers. So the Pixel is running Wi-Fi 6E, while over here on the Galaxy it is just Wi-Fi 6, Bluetooth 5.3 on both of these guys, so that is fantastic. And as I mentioned earlier, they both do have optical fingerprint sensors, and like I said, the Pixel definitely wins with having that faster in-display fingerprint sensor. So that is fantastic. Always on displays on both of them. If I did not mention that earlier, the Galaxy definitely way more customizable when it comes down to your display settings, your always on display, theming, and things like that. While the Google pretty much is just pretty much stock, so you really can't do much as far as adjusting everything. You can change the colors when it comes down to Google with wallpapers and styles and things like that, but the Galaxy definitely gives you more options when it comes down to wallpapers and styles, downloading themes, color palettes on both of these as well, so that's really cool. And as far as customization, definitely a little bit more over here on the Samsung, since you can download GoodLock to give you a lot more customizing options with the Samsung, while the Pixel is pretty much bare bones stock Android. So whichever, to each his own on whether you know stock or you like Samsung's One UI. As far as battery goes, the A54 does come with a 5,000 milliamp hour battery, 25 watt wired charging, no wireless charging whatsoever. The Google Pixel 7a 43/8500 milliamp hour battery with 20 watt wired charging, and you also get 7 watt wireless charging, which is the slowest wireless charging I've ever seen on a smartphone. So just do yourself a favor, if you're going to charge this wirelessly, just put it on your stand overnight and just let this device charge. Do not expect fast charging speeds wirelessly, and just plug this in if you need to top up through the actual cord. None of these devices do come with power bricks, so keep that in mind. Very, very sad, but as far as battery life goes, they're actually quite close. Even though the Pixel has a smaller milliamp hour battery, they are pretty similar when it comes down to battery life, just because of the Google Tensor is actually optimized better with Google software is actually optimized a little bit better than Samsung. But battery life is pretty similar on these guys. Maybe the Samsung just lasts a little bit longer just because it is a larger battery, but the Pixel is no slouch. It definitely does have really good battery life on both of these. So as far as colors go, the Pixel does come in a sea, porcelain, and a charcoal color. This is the sea color, which is sort of a baby bluish color for the Pixel, and actually looks really nice, while the Galaxy does only come in lime, graphite, violet, and white. This is the graphite color, a little bit more of a grayish color, and I would definitely prefer if these devices were matte finished. The Pixel, I could already see some scratches over here since it is plastic and glossy, while the Galaxy over here definitely is a fingerprint magnet, so I would have preferred some matte finishes just to hide some of those scratches and hide some of those fingerprints just a little bit more on these. But they're very, very nice. They're both very compact devices. The Galaxy may be a little bit wider than the Pixel, and obviously a little bit larger, but the Pixel is definitely more compact than most of your smartphones today. The Galaxy, you can feel that width over here. Definitely feels like a wide phone. You can reach across both of them quite nicely. You can get your notifications and things like that. So which one do you think is better, the Pixel 7a or the Galaxy A54? Comment down below, and thank you guys for watching this comparison, and I will see you next time. You guys stay safe out there. Peace.